Okay, time for another small update on the car. Well, a couple updates actually. Redid the engine bay a little bit. It's the first time shooting black wrinkle paint. Could have been better, but it's alright. It's practice for the Evo valve cover. So hopefully I'll be a little better at shooting this when it's time to paint that one. So the fender washers put on here and there. And yeah, so that cleaned up really nice. The project for this weekend has been swapping in the Evo radiator. So there's a couple of things I had to do to make it fit. As far as physically fitting, the lower mounts are the same. The upper mounts, this side is the same. This side is different. So if you're going to do this, you need to make sure you have these radiator stays. So here's the Mirage ones. You can see this side is the same. This side is not the same. In fact, I think these might, yeah, these are the exact same piece. So you need to make sure you get this stay here if you're going to do this swap. But it did make quite the dramatic difference. Here's the stock Mirage radiator. See, it is very, very thin. So I posted a side-by-side of this one with the Evo one on Facebook, and one of my friends actually asked me if this was the condenser. So that's how small it is. Now here is the Evo one. Quite a bit thicker. It's probably 2 times the thickness of the Mirage one. Now if you're going to do this, I would recommend just buying a Mishimoto for the Evo 4-6 off of eBay. I had this one laying around because I bought a half cut from an Evo 4, and so this one was just sitting there. So since this was originally a 1.5 car, I'm not sure if the radiators are different, but it does run a little warm, so I figured why not, I'll just go ahead and swap the Evo one in for now and do a video write-up of how I installed it. So on the Evo radiator, on the original, on the Evo 4, you had this fan here. There is no fan here. There is a flex fan that bolts to the front of the radiator support. I don't have that fan at home, and I'm not sure that that fan would bolt to this radiator support anyway. The Coupe, the sedan, and the Evo radiator supports are all different from each other. The sedan and the Evo are close, so it might be the same, but the Coupe is so different that I really doubt that fan bolts up. But I'll check later on and see anyway. But making the Mirage condenser fan bolt up was really not a big deal. The lower bolt and one of the upper bolts, I think it was this one, just bolt up. Yeah, in fact it is here. This hole here I had to elongate with a file, which only took a few minutes, so it really was no big deal. But that's something to bear in mind. You'll have to do that. Also, down here you can see I flipped this. This bracket normally sits the other way, where the cup is down here, but it doesn't fit that way with this fan because obviously this fan's not there on the Evo. Now you can't see it very well. You see those 2 holes down there? This condenser fan normally would have had that same U-shaped bracket on it, but it was just sheet metal and it was welded onto this. So I drilled that off. You could probably keep it, but I didn't want to take this and remove this because it'll get lost. And I need that piece when I do the Evo swap. So that was my solution temporarily, was just to mount it like that and get rid of the one off the condenser fan. Again, this condenser fan won't be there when I do the Evo engine swap. So okay, I think, oh no, there was one other thing. The Evo radiator fan is a 4-wire fan. I believe that 2 of the wires are for low RPM and the other 2 are for high. And the Mirage uses a 2-wire design, which is this. Now, what I did here to overcome this was the high wire, or the high RPM wires, are blue and black. At least I'm assuming they are. I didn't verify this, but I will shortly. So all I did was unpin from the 4-wire, the black and the blue, and then pin them into the stock Mirage fan plug. Which all you have to do is, there's an orange tab inside, you just pull that out, and then these wires will slide out with a little clip. So if you push the clip over, you can slide them right out. It's really a pretty simple thing, totally reversible, and it will be reversed when we do the Evo engine swap and switch to the Evo harness. But for now, this will work really well. So it's completely OEM style solution, and yeah, I think it's a pretty neat idea. Shout out to Brent, or BC Speed, on Mirage forums for that, because I didn't know that, so appreciate it. But other than that, everything is pretty OEM. This hose I swapped over from the Mirage radiator. The Evo hose follows this trail here, and the washer bottle, or the coolant reservoirs over here on the Evo. But other than that, it was really pretty simple swap. I did it in a day, and it only took maybe 2 or 3 hours. And the only reason it's taken that long is because I'm also working on replacing the bushings in the lower control arms. I got white line KCA 429s to go at the back here when that control arm gets mounted back up. And then I forget what the part number is, but I got the poly ones to go there too. So for now, this is where it's sitting. But, and forgive the rust. These are actually Coney yellows, which means there's an insert, and this is the old strut body from some 200,000 mile car. These aren't part of mine. These were from, I bought them from somebody who had a ton of miles on their car. So, but anyway, they were worth it. They were cheap. So, yeah, it is what it is. I think I've got a set of EBC yellow brake pads. I'll probably swap into these from another buddy of mine, and with the bushings and the KCA 429s add plus 5 degrees positive caster too, so that should make the steering wheel be a little less vague, which has been a problem. So but anyway, so yeah, that's where we're at right now. Oh, and since if you're not subscribed to my thread on Mirage forums, you probably haven't seen the interior update. So I got just a little bit more done up in here, but I picked up a set of Evo 8 Recaro seats to go in this car, and they just about bolted up thanks to a set of Evo 5 Bride brackets. So yeah, that was a pretty nice conversion. I got them for a very good price, could not pass it up. The seats were practically free, so I was like, okay. But that and the interior, I plasti dipped that bezel finally, so no more wood grain, thank goodness. I don't know if I had the gauges in pods at the last video, so that's done a little better. I need to work on them a little more because I didn't measure properly and now this won't close, but that's alright, I'll get it fixed. So anyway, but yeah, I think that's more or less it. I got a decent volt gauge in there now. Cheap, but it works. I'll replace it later with an AM one to match this wideband. But yeah, so that's the project. It's come a long way. It's not even done, but it's getting there. So hopefully in a few weeks you'll be seeing this under the hood. Anyway, that's all the time I've got for now, so ignore my messy garage, and I will see you guys next time.